In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the little things. Sometimes we become so familiar with God that we forget the little things that we have that are more like a gift. Don't mind my voice. My voice is still not fully up there, but I believe in my next video, I'll do much better, or it will be up there fully. I'm actually doing it like to remind myself that my voice is a gift, one of those little things. Now, I've never really thought about it before now, like, thank God for the voice you have, you can speak and everything. Now, some weeks back, God kind of brought it to my mind to the fore, because for a whole week, I couldn't really speak properly. Just like for the past 3 days, I've not really been able to speak properly. But it was worse at that time. So it began to occur to me that, hey, I have something here that I have never really noticed it was there. And somehow it was when I lost it temporarily, that's when I now remember that it's there. So this message is for those of us who are not really saying what we have. We almost always want to look across the fence and look at what our neighbor has or what other people have, and we forget that we have something that others don't have. So this is just a reminder. Now, not too long ago, we buried one of my classmates, and my mom is still alive. My dad has gone to be with the Lord. It's a blessed memory. In our thinking, it looks like it's my parents' generation that are going, maybe in the next 30 years, 20 some years, it will now be our turn to start going one by one. Now, burying this friend, a classmate, like opened my eyes again that, wait a minute, this could have been any of us. Sometimes we like to think that we have a cheat code, we can cheat death and everything. At the end of the day, it is not really like that. And this is not even the first classmate I'm burying, by the way. We buried another one some years, about 4 years ago. So others that I don't even know about might have passed and everything. So the point I'm trying to bring is this. As a Christian, we need to wake ourselves up like, hey, I need to be thanking God for what I have. And it boils down to contentment. On one of my milestone birthdays not too long ago, it suddenly occurred to me that, wait a minute, everything I was doing when I was maybe about 2-3 years old, at that same age, I could do everything. My birthday was no longer about I reached this age. It was not a matter of, Father, thank you. A lot of my friends are not working, or at least some persons of my age that we started together. A lot cannot see. Some have died and everything, which I talked about earlier. So I began to be thankful that I am where I am, because what if I didn't have legs again? Would I have now killed myself? No. My trust is in God, so I cannot start saying I want to take my life regardless of the circumstance. So it was now a Thanksgiving birthday for me, and it's a birthday I don't think I'll forget anytime soon. I wasn't bothered about celebration. I'm naturally not someone that celebrates, so even if my wife wanted to celebrate, that wasn't the focus this time around. The focus was, Father, thank you that regardless of the challenges and the troubles I've had to go through in life, I am still here. I was very thankful. Now, if you watched my previous video, which I encourage you guys to go and watch, I'm in that place where, I gave too much or a lot to my feelings. We have a way of waiting to feel God before we now know that we're Christians. Now, God is taking me to a ruthless journey where God is telling me, your feeling is irrelevant. When I speak, whether you feel it or you don't feel it, you have to march on. And it's a lesson that I don't think most Christians are ready for. Like the lesson of, you ignore your feelings, whether your feeling is telling you, you just ignore it and you listen to that small still voice and you march on. It doesn't matter whether you are afraid or everything is just irrelevant. How you feel is irrelevant. Now, this is a topic that most Christians will not be able to relate to, but I urge you, ask yourself this simple question. Why am I serving God? Am I serving God because of the things I am having around me? Am I serving Him because of the way I feel? It's a question you need to focus on and make sure you get a very, very good answer. God didn't say that when you feel like you can have faith. Faith is something you are supposed to have all the time. God didn't say you should practice righteousness when you feel like you are an overcomer. It doesn't matter how you feel. You are designed to overcome, because what it takes to overcome is inside of you. So it's not a matter of I felt weak. No. As a Christian, the grace has been given. So if you are lacking in that grace, that is where we need to tap in from what God has done. There are a lot of things in the Bible, especially from Jesus. I like quoting Jesus more than any other person. So that's what you're going to be hearing on this channel. Jesus said, Peter, the devil has sought to sift you, but I have prayed for you. And I'm sure he has prayed for all of them. And I also think he has prayed for me here. We like to look at things like, oh, it happened in the Old Testament. We're not looking at now. So that is the idea. Now, I don't want to digress too much. I started with thanking God for the little things. So I want to encourage us, don't worry about your feelings, don't worry about the things that are going on around you. Just focus on how to thank God, because God is looking for those who are faithful in little, who are thankful in little things, and those are the people He wants to give even bigger things. So if you miss that track, you're always looking at, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're going to lose out. Now, this is going to be especially for the ladies. If you are watching this video, contentment is one of the things ladies struggle with a lot. Now, it started from the Garden of Eden, so don't even think that I'm trying to point fingers. No. And if there's any way maybe I can help, I'm always trying my best to help. And if this is one of the ways I can just encourage you, Eve in the Garden of Eden, she was not satisfied with every other fruit that was given them to eat. Somehow, the devil was able to convince her that there was something special. Now, Lot's wife, we saw how she turned back and she became a pillar of salt. Now, I'm not saying if more men were with Lot, maybe two of them would have turned, but definitely more women would have turned because of the way women are designed. You're encouraged to keep trusting God to help you to be content with what you have. I've heard so many things from the secular circle where they say you can never satisfy a woman. To be honest, that statement is almost true. But thank God I have a wife that I know that she's content to the best of her ability, but she struggles more than I do to be content. That's just the bitter truth. So I encourage her, pray for her, and it's my prayer for ladies out there that contentment, they will try to have it, because God needs that contentment from us. Contentment is great gain. If we're not content with God, that we have content with what God has given us, it's just a matter of time before the Garden of Eden replaces itself all over again. Let us take all these little things seriously. God is trying to make us perfect, and in doing so, we're going to have this thankful heart, appreciative heart, and these little things that seems like, oh, it's my right to walk, it's my right to do this. Don't wait for anything to take it away before you now start knowing that you should be thankful to God. Whatever it is that's happening in your life, just make sure you trust God and you are still marching on. At the end of the day, you will see God in what you are doing. Don't get carried away by all this prosperity, all these messages of sowing seed and everything, this idea of grace, hyper grace. There's one new message that came in. It's been there, it comes on and off like that, where somebody said that once saved is not forever saved. And somebody jumped in and said, how can you say once saved is not forever saved? And I'm wondering, how can you say once saved, forever saved? Jesus Christ said that those who endure to the end shall be saved. That means there are different levels of salvation. There's a salvation that puts you in the kingdom, and there's a salvation that takes you through, which means you have to walk in that righteousness, walk with Christ and everything to be able to attain the one he talked about, that he who endures to the end shall be saved. So that's not the topic for today. I just said I should let us know that whatever happens, we should know that God wants us to be like him. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemies, bless those who curse you, pray for those who despisefully use you. Those should be the things we fight to practice. Forgiveness should not be a problem. So if you're having any problem in any direction, that is your prayer point. That is your focus on what God needs to work on in your life. So I'm a work in progress, and I'll continue to be until God says, you know what, this is where I want you to go to. So while I'm on the journey, I also want to encourage those who are in their own journeys as well. So see you guys and catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.